We are back.
We are back after a long hiatus.
We have made it to milestone 20.
Are we really there?
Yep.
20th subscriber special. No, I'm just kidding. 20th episode.
Why are my shit looking like this? There we go.
There it is. Okay.
Oh,
that's for the last album anyways. Yeah.
all right.
This is going to be a Aaron-centric episode. Masturbation.
Master
Wikipedia
of
says.
Bation.
Master.
We're back
Master
with
of puppets.
We're back with Tino and Claude.
Yep. That's us. I like to go by
What
Ozzy.
if my name was
He likes to go by
Claude?
Osborne.
All right. I'm gonna just kick it off.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're doing Master of Puppets. Metallica. Metallica is a heavy metal band formed in 1981.
Before we do the...
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
I will guess your score to be
Let me go to the...
10s.
Let me go to the...
It can't be in the negatives.
Okay.
It can't be in the negatives. So what, 10? 10s? I'm going to guess 10s.
Say yes or no.
I forget mine, so...
For you, I didn't know what to think because
Good.
I know you despise this style of music, but it has
I don't
so
know
much...
if I like Black Sabbath, but thrash metal, I like
metal's
Slayer.
nothing like Doom.
Anthrax, I saw them live.
You
That
like
shit was
Anthrax?
sick. Dude, Anthrax live was badass.
Yeah, live. I'm sure it was. Metallica would probably be sick live.
No.
Well, point being...
I've seen Metallica live too,
Oh, okay.
2008.
Point being, this music holds a lot of nostalgic power, a lot of childhood, a lot of your life was spent listening to this. So I don't know if you're going to have an innate, warmth towards it, or if you're just going to be like, no, I absolutely hate everything about this. I guess we'll find out. So my guess is low positives to moderate negatives. Like I could see it being as low as like a negative. I could see it being lower than Movement, but I could also see it being.
I think Movement is the lowest album I have so far.
Well, you just spoiled it.
No, I said Movement is the lowest.
So far, or including this.
I'm not gonna say.
Oh,
I'm just
okay.
saying so far Movement is the lowest album
The
I
two
have.
80s albums are probably going to get the two strongest negative scores possibly. I'm going to guess in between In Rainbows. From In Rainbows to Movement, maybe a little more negative than Movement. We'll see.
So you basically went from low positives. You gave me like a range of 100.
Okay, fine. Then negative 25 to negative 100.
Okay.
It's still pretty big.
Yeah.
If I were to guess an exact number, negative 90. No, that's absurd. Negative 50.
Okay. I forget, so I really don't know.
Now, this is going to be a juicy part, actually.
What?
First time listening to the album. You have a lot of personal background with this. Okay. So let me go first then.
Okay.
Obviously, I've known Metallica forever. It's a band everyone knows. It's a band everyone, everyone and their dog has listened to. Most people like it. It's all over the radio for like the classic rock and the metal stations, I always kind of respected Metallica. Like their name holds so much iconic status. They are such a powerhouse in the genre. How could anyone, not respect that aspect of them? So I've had in my albums to rate Metallica's entire 80s to 90s discography. Well, up to Black Album, because I've heard that's when they really fell off. But so my first time hearing this specific album was for this little episode here. But I've heard, obviously, the title track since I was freaking probably in diapers. and I've heard various other similar Metallica songs. So I definitely knew what I was getting into here. But I'll let you take it away.
Okay. So Metallica was the album of my adolescence.
Metallica, the self-titled?
No, the band.
Oh, the band.
And this album was the album of Metallica.
Right.
So this was the album of basically my whole life up to about high school. I never talked trash on them. I thought it was probably some of the greatest music to ever walk the planet. And it's not like I had never heard music before. I had heard plenty of stuff that my mother used to play growing up and parents would play, but this is the stuff that stood out to me, maybe because I myself was a creature from hell as a kid. I once bit my second grade teacher's ear so hard that she bled.
Yeah, this is kind of a disturbed kid would totally be a metalhead and as like a 5-year-old.
So this was the album of my childhood. This is the one single musical project that I ever made. This is the first single musical project that I ever made an opinion on in my entire life. I was maybe 8 years old when I heard it and had heard music, but never had a preference or disgust really for certain musical pieces until I heard this. That's when I was like, okay.
You can keep talking.
Where are you going?
Just leaving.
Okay. I was maybe 8 years old, and I didn't really have a preference or disgust for certain music until I heard this. That's when I was like, okay, this is something that is actually good. Everything else I've heard must have just been bad.
Slipknot.
I went through 10. A Slipknot phase too.
Yeah, I was into edgier music when I was 10 because I was bullied, so I was making up for my sadness with angry.
So just like all the other Slipknot fans.
I generally used to think, after I grew out of my metal phase in elementary school, I used to think that, like, for sure there is a 1-to-1 correlation between liking metal and having problems.
Okay.
Do you think any completely well-adjusted, completely normal person with no, like clean back, like, life story is like a metalhead, like a diehard, like a metalhead? I don't think so. It's kind of the...
Gabe?
His house burned down. I'd listen to metal too if that happened to me.
He was listening to metal long before his house burned down. But
so he's had a completely normal, like, chilling. Like,
as far as I know,
suburban.
I mean, I don't know if it was completely chilling. I don't know the whole dude's life story, but
I feel like metal.
He never seemed to be an off kind of person. He seemed to be pretty well grounded mentally, and
for sure.
Well, I mean, he was the product of his environment.
But was that environment beholding to liking darker, more angry music? That's what I'm saying.
I don't know. I mean, he's got a Challenger and a Mustang. Anybody who likes muscle cars likes Metallica. 100%. That's the 1-to-1 correlation that you're looking for. He's got a Challenger.
Very different. Excuse me.
I think I said Challenger at first, but I think I might not have finished it. Why did I go into Mustang? I know his mom owns a Mustang. Maybe I was like subliminally trying to like jab at you, but
yeah, probably. My car's cooler.
Yeah, I've got a Mustang, and my favorite band is Metallica, 100%. That sounds like something I'd hear anywhere in the world that I go.
Charger, bro. Charger guys have like Metallica.
You're right. Mustang guys are more into what, like Drake?
No, those are Civic guys.
No, Civic guys are into like underground, but still shitty.
No, bro.
Rap.
Underground Civics are
guaranteed,
like the most basic.
Bro. They're into like XXXTentacion.
No, that's Infinity guys. The G series that your brother has. You always see those stands out with like the broken heart freaking stickers.
I see that a lot on some Subarus too, but we won't talk about it.
God, you're so
Music
good.
channel, not car channel.
Okay, we should. Yeah, Car Sucks coming up soon.
Yeah. I don't know why, but this album to me resembles the feeling of like human nature's propensity to like, and vulnerability of like any person, the average person, to sink into madness, even when they might not know it. Like you and me could be mad, but we don't know. You know what I mean?
No,
I get that feeling yeah, exactly. That's what a mad person would say.
Why is this leaking?
Is it screwed on all the way?
It wasn't. You don't know how to screw on the lid?
Relax, it's water. You ever washed your clothes before?
Mic.
No, it's not. It's like a $50 mic.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like this kind of music resembles, like, I get the feeling that, like, human beings are way vulnerable into, like, sinking into, like, madness or some sort of psychological state that's not quite functional with
That sounds cool.
with society, the way society has been brought up over the past, like, 3,000 years. I don't have any evidence, but I just get that feeling. So I'm gonna just get into it. Metallica.
Well, we didn't talk about your background.
That is my background. So I liked it right up until I heard about Black Keys. This album, brothers, actually. So
Mids. Keep going though.
my brother was also a Metallica head as of about 10 years ago, maybe.
And still is.
And still is. But he's broadening a little to guess what?
The Black Keys.
The Black Keys. Walked past his room the other day. That's what he was listening to.
And you never had heard him listen to it before?
I know he liked one song, but he wasn't playing that song.
He's gonna... I think Eric is gonna be the delay to you. And in like 10 years, he'll be just as like messed up and, you know...
He's gonna need about 300 hits of LSD before that. We should just give it to him all at once. No, that's my background. It was the album of my childhood. Let's get into it.
All right.
Because I'm bored. Metallica is a heavy metal band formed in 1981 Los Angeles by vocalist and guitarist James Hetfield and drummer Lars Ulrich. Originally, they had recruited Dave Mustaine as a guitarist, but later kicked him out of the band because of his alcoholism proclivities. An individual named Ron McGovney.
He's Megadeth, right?
Yeah. He later went on to start Megadeth.
Yeah, this dude... Yeah.
Mustard Stain.
Yeah, this dude's like a mega...
He looks like an evil Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah, this dude is a mega political guy. He was on InfoWars, the Alex Jones conspiracy show.
I believe it.
Yeah, he's pretty wild.
Now he's got the psyche of a motherfucking...
tinfoil hat,
addict. Yeah, looking. He's addicted to something with some drugs. It's like...
Fox News.
Conspiracy theories.
No, not Fox News. One American News. Keep going.
An individual named Ron McGovney originally played bass, but left the band because of Mustaine's alcoholism. Basically, Mustaine, story goes, had poured beer down the neck of his guitar. And then when he went to plug his guitar in without knowing, I guess it like blew the pickups up and there was a malfunction. It blew up and everything was on fire.
Awesome. Oh, I thought you'd say, that's how they found the sound.
It became hella kick-ass. Killer. No, later they saw a guy named Cliff Burton playing it live at a nightclub in West Hollywood and asked him to join the band. Later that year that they saw him, he did, which was just before they had started recording their first album, I believe. Even though they had written already some of it, but they hadn't recorded it yet.
Wait, so none of their first album has Mustaine on it?
I'll get into that.
Oh, okay.
There's a story also that goes that James Hetfield had kicked a dog one time, and then Mustaine had punched James as a result. Okay. So they already had kind of a...
Why did James kick a dog?
Because he started Metallica. And that's your question? Come on. I don't know. He's that kind of asshole, I guess. Okay. Just before they recorded their first album, they kicked Mustaine out of the band and recruited Kirk Hammett, who is still with the band today. The lineup has
I
now...
know all of those names, bro. Those are all like names to be known with a lot of weight.
Right. So the lineup now that they had Mustaine... Actually, Cliff... I don't think Cliff played on their first album. I think he joined the band during or right after they recorded their... Actually, they kicked... Let me just look something up just to clear something up real quick. Yeah. So the lineup was set for basically writing stuff was James Hetfield, Lars Ulrich, Cliff Burton, and Dave Mustaine. That was the lineup for their first album. And that first album kind of gained them some critical acclaim. Later on, they kicked out Mustaine, So basically, they went to record their first album, and that's when they kicked out Mustaine. Even though Mustaine had already written a lot of what was on their first album, and he's credited. Is he credited? He better be credited. Just kidding, I don't care. Yeah, he's credited with a lot of it.
Cool.
So yeah. Actually, Cliff Burton is only credited with one song, the best song on that album, but that's a different album. So, yeah, they kicked him out prior to recording, but they still used his ideas. During the European tour in 1986, where they opened for Ozzy Osbourne on the tour, the band bussed around the continent, and on September 27th, the bus driver lost control of the bus, and the bus flipped several times. While Hetfield, Hammond, and Ulrich sustained no serious injury, the bus had pinned and killed Cliff Burton instantly, a vital member of the band, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So writing their first album, Mustaine, Burton, Hetfield, Ulrich. Recording and everything up to Burton's death was Hammett, Hetfield, Ulrich, and Burton.
So this was the tour after the release of this album?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, so later in the year after this album Master of Puppets was released, he was killed on the tour. After Burton's death, they held auditions to recruit a new bass member, and one individual, a close friend of Hetfield's, auditioned. His name was Les Claypool.
Hey, I know that.
Other people might know him as the guy who started Primus. I know him as probably one of the best bass guitarists in the world.
That would have went crazy.
And they fucked up by not including this guy. Jason Newsted was instead recruited.
Imagine one by Metallica with the Primus.
I don't even think one would have come into fruition with Primus.
You're right.
I think, well, I don't know. I think either Claypool would have either left the band pretty early on, or their sound would have been much different, and I would have loved to have heard some of that shit, bro.
In the future, when AI can create stuff, we should do
mix Primus with Metallica.
Yo, that would go so
I'm
crazy.
so amazed that he tried out and they didn't recruit him, dude. That is crazy.
He's probably too weird for them.
Probably. You'll get into some of my shit on their stuff later. But Jason Newsted was recruited in place of Cliff Burton, and he would be with the band for quite a long time. Megadeth's bassist, David Ellefson, was also asked to join, but declined. In my opinion...
betrayal.
Yeah. In my opinion, the loss of both Burton and Mustaine a couple years earlier than this album was released generated the biggest loss of their creative force, and I think their first few albums were somewhat of already the brainchild of Mustaine and Burton on their first 3 to 4 albums. Those albums carried the torch of Burton and Mustaine's creative fire, and with the lineup Hammett, Newsted, Ulrich, and Hetfield, they had lost much potential, and their music declined. I feel like those were the two biggest Metallica guys. Look what Dave Mustaine went to create, Megadeth, and they're better than Metallica, in my opinion. And Cliff Burton...
I cannot stand Megadeth's vocals, bro. Mustaine's vocals are horrid, but
I'm not gonna
musically.
I'm not gonna claim his vocals, but I do think that Megadeth is a
heavy,
better
for
band,
sure, more intense.
And I think with the loss of Burton, who also played some of the best songs that Metallica had on their first 4 albums.
Then how do you explain the fact that Saint Anger is their best album?
Nobody ever in the world across multiple planets of this universe will claim that. Actually, I once claimed that a few years ago. I'm sure I did. Anyways, they're the only band to have played on all 7 continents. I guess they played a show for the Penguins in Antarctica. Other than that, that's who Metallica is, who they were.
Wait, I just processed that. They played an album in Antarctica.
They played a show in Antarctica.
That's awesome, actually. Wait, to the scientists who were there?
I guess.
Freeze them all? That's a fire name, too. Yo, that's kind of awesome. I respect that. Are they the only band who's ever done that?
Yep.
The only band who's ever played in Antarctica?
On all 7 continents, yes.
Oh, okay. That's kind of awesome. Look at that album cover or concert cover. It's so dumb looking.
Yeah, so that makes sense. Let's get into the album, yeah? What are you looking at?
Oh, I thought you'd have a lot, but I'm ready for the song for songs.
No. I got more album stuff.
Oh, yeah, go.
That was about the band. So Master of Puppets is considered Metallica's greatest achievement by many. Although not my favorite album by them, it inspired the metal community more than any other album from what I've read and heard. It was recorded September to December of 1985, and Burton was killed about a little less than a year later, and released on March 3rd, 1986. So I think Burton was killed about a half year after its release. It was recorded in Copenhagen instead of in America because they didn't like any of the acoustics in any of the American studios that they were in.
Does it make that much of a difference?
If you are what are they called? Audiophile? Then yes. It can make quite a big difference.
Shout out Oski. I know you're watching this one.
The genre is defined as thrash metal, which is a subgenre of metal and features higher tempos and higher aggression.
Yeah, perfect way to describe that.
Yep. Reviews range from orange to red with no real centering, but the album was hailed as a masterpiece by critics of the time, ranked as 167th on Rolling Stone's 500. Ranked number 2 behind Paranoid as the best metal album of all time by Rolling Stone.
Whoa.
So it is an album that carried this band, and it is an album with much
reverence.
Oh
boy. It's not that high on Rate Your Music, just to talk about that real quick.
I looked it up, and
music, like I said,
it's
music
fairly high.
nerds are not going to be
They like it, dude. It was in the 4s.
Low 4s.
That's an 8 out of 10.
I know, but on for Rate Your Music, anything in the 4s, I don't know. Like for an album that's considered
how much higher can you get? You can get to 5?
Is, it's not that high.
Is it higher than Marvin Gaye? No? I would have laughed so hard if it was.
Number 2 for 1986, but 102 overall. So there are people who consider this a top 5
the people who rated it are the people who like Metallica.
Overall. You know what I mean? Yeah. 102. That's not that impressive for the reverence that this album.
Rolling Stone rated it less than that, 167.
Hey, it lost out to the Smiths. Let's go. And then Rain and Blood, Slayer in 3rd place. Interesting.
Slayer is pretty sick. So and that album is sick too. So, Flemming Rasmussen produced and engineered the sound and is most known for his work with Metallica. Mixing was done by Michael Wagner. He is known for his multi-amping and re-amping techniques that were innovative at the time. Reamping is kind of where you record a dry, unaffected guitar signal with no effects, so it's just you plug it in,
right.
You record it how it is, and then you record that and send that recording back into an amp to reamp it, and then you add effects onto that recording, and that allows kind of the mixer and the engineers to kind of create it how they want, like the studio artists can leave the studio and go do what they want, well, the mixers can fiddle with it and get the sound right. He was known for that, which was innovative at the time. He worked with Motley Crue, Poison, Alice Cooper, Megadeth, and Ozzy, to name a few. Mastering was done by George Martin, I'm just kidding, who worked a lot. George Marino worked a lot with John Lennon, AC/DC, Zeppelin, Guns N' Roses, and many, 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 many more.
Wow.
Metallica Master of Puppets was remastered in 2017, and the remastering was done by Howie Weinberg. Do you recognize that name? He mastered Nevermind.
Oh, cool.
You don't give a fuck. Metallica had already laid the foundation for thrash metal prior to this album, but their expectations for this album were much higher. Hetfield and Ulrich, the drummer and guitarist, vocalist, were the main writers, but deny any contributions from Mustaine after Mustaine criticized them for stealing his ideas. Metallica later admitted that the song Leper Messiah did incorporate some of Mustaine's writings.
Dang, so even
that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Mustaine
after they kicked him out, I think he carried a lot of the creative juice, and I think that they only admitted to the song. I think it's possible that he held a lot more credits than he should have had, or than he was given for this album. Metallica's known for stealing shit. They're pieces of shit. They're not as they should not. Exactly. It's been this album is given too much credit. These guys stole a bunch of their ideas. They're pieces of shit. Their ideologies about going forward. I will tell you, dude, as we go.
Okay.
The band chose to record in Denmark because it was Ulrich's native country. That's why they're pieces of shit.
'Cause
I'm
they're
just
from
kidding. No.
That's good.
During the making of the album, Ulrich was taking drum lessons, and Hammett was learning how to record more efficiently. So
So the
recording
drummer
techniques.
was taking drum lessons into their like 5th album.
You got to realize most artists don't know really how to play instruments like professionally. They just start making stuff. Like Jimi Hendrix, dude didn't know anything. He just started fucking around.
Bro.
He knew everything because it came from within him. It was nothing knowledge-wise. He didn't learn any of how to play guitar.
Self-taught.
Exactly. He taught himself how to learn this whole instrument. Like most artists don't know how to play shit. None of them could read music. The Beatles couldn't read music.
For real?
Yeah. So none of them know. They just kind of fuck around and figure it out, and like they teach themselves. So
all right, whatever.
Recording took longer than usual. This is what makes them pieces of shits in my eye, because it doesn't make any sense, bro. Dude, listen. Okay, recording took longer than usual because the band developed a sense of perfectionism, technical dexterity, and higher ambitions. They were trying to reach. No, they're not. They're not making music for themselves at this point. They were trying to reach critics. They were literally like, we need to make something that impresses critics. And that's why they were like, okay, we need to chill with this album, take it slow, and do it right. And I was like, dude.
But that's also good. I mean.
No, it's not. You're not making music for yourself. If you're not making music for yourself, then it's so dumb, bro. It's so dumb. Unless you really can achieve something, which I guess they did, but not in my opinion.
Right. But like, if you want, like, what's going on, he was making that album because he had a goal within to, spread his vision.
That is dumb in my opinion.
Dumb, bro.
Yes, it is, bro.
Music can't have a greater purpose. It just has to be
but okay,
your
at
expression.
least if it's something that you don't like, but you are making it for somebody else, that's when it's like beyond. That's when it blows my mind.
No, I agree.
Like,
you don't think Metallica likes this album? They probably love
No, I'm sure that they do, but the fact that they're like, okay, we need to appeal to critics.
No,
that is like, oh my, dude, it was. It literally was.
I know with Nickelback, it's literally there's literally a quote about like, yeah, we just tried to make like the trendiest, like most.
That's what these guys were doing, bro.
Really. Here's what I think happened. They made their first few albums. They're like, okay, we're on a roll. This album is going to be the album, guys. So let's make sure this album, we're kind of, we're on this momentum. This is going to be the album. We're going to put extra work into this. We're going to kill this album. I don't think it was.
I agree,
guys,
but what I read.
So let's ask the critics what they'd like, and let's just do whatever they want.
No, it wasn't. They didn't ask anybody what they liked.
Let's figure out what the critics would like and just do exactly that. I doubt it was like that.
I don't know if it's stooped that low, because that's literally the lowest you can get. And that's but it did stoop.
It's fine to have ambitions of grandeur in your music.
Yeah, but make it grand for yourself.
No.
Like an idea, that's so dumb. Why are you even making art? Art comes from within yourself. So you're not making good art if you just start making it for other people.
I would like the music that I make to sound good to other people.
To you or other people?
Me and other people.
I mean, that's fine as long as you're included somewhere.
Oh,
if you're ever not included for you, then you're making art for the wrong reasons. And that's what bothers me like the most is artists who do shit like that. Because nothing is coming from within. You're not showing me anything about who you are. You're trying to show me who everyone else is, which I already think is bullshit. So, but I swear I read something in here. So I'm just going to Control F on maybe critics, because they literally were like, we need to appeal to the critics.
No way.
Yeah, from what I read. Yeah, Metallica was motivated to make an album that would impress critics and fans, beginning to write new material in the mid-1985. I just... It's when you're trying too hard. That's what I'm like. You're trying way too hard, dude.
I guess. I don't know. Like, I don't know. I think for one, it's fine to make music for your fans because they're your people. Like it's like content creators on YouTube make videos for their fans. Like it's fine if artists do the same and movie guys do the same. That's fine.
Kind of.
But if you're making it, I don't know. I don't think it's that bad of a thing. If you're making it just to be commercially successful, that's different. But if you've made this fan base and you want to, give them exactly what they want, hit them with the gold that they would love, You have a right to treat your
basically
fans.
you have a dependence on your fan base?
No, you want to treat them well. Like,
then I wouldn't want to treat them well unless
I
I had a dependence on them. And if I ever had a dependence on them...
They made you who you are, and like hypothetically, like Metallica would be nothing if not for their fan base. As with every band
What the fuck does that mean, you're nothing? Like, people don't know your music? That's fine. You can make it for yourself, and that's fine. Nah. Sure, you can release it, and like other people are welcome to listen to it or whatever. That's fine.
You are telling me, genuinely, if you released a song and not a single person came across it, you'd be fine with that?
Yes, dude.
What's the point of releasing it then?
I don't release... Well, okay, so let me explain. I've recorded a lot of stuff, and I haven't released any of it. I listened to it on my own.
That's one thing. But if you're releasing it, it's because you want...
If you're releasing it, you might... It's just, okay, well, here, in case other people feel like... I mean, if you're helping yourself enjoy your time by making music for yourself, maybe you have a possibility of helping other people enjoy some time. Here it is. Like it or hate it.
No, it's just like you grow to like your fans. You like your fan base.
Sure, and I'm sure that there's a lot to appreciate. But
yeah, and critics, that one's a little harder to defend, but it's fine to want to make music that people are going to think is good. Like,
yeah, I don't think that there's anything necessarily wrong. I just don't know if I would do it. Like, it's fine to release things, and other people are welcome to hear it too, but if at any point you're like depending on your fans to like it, that's when it becomes questionable. Yeah. It's like you forgot the entire... I guess people can do whatever they want with their art, but like I would never... That seems like a low, scummy thing to do. And I don't think... Even though I'm a little bit of a scumbag myself, I've dabbled in the scum circles of society. And
Scum is such a good EP. But keep going.
Yeah. I don't think... I'd like to think I would never stoop that low, because that is, I think, one of the lowest you can get in the world of making art, or the industry of making art. But maybe I'm also being a little too hard. Maybe I'm also being a little bit of a poser hipster idiot. I don't know. The stuff that I make, at least, I make it for purpose of listening to it myself. But anyways, I'll get back to this bullshit, these fucking idiots, dude.
I want to know why they're bad people. Once you get,
that's really what
They're bad people because they wanted to make.
No, I just said that they were pieces of shit.
So Drake is too.
Everybody knows that. That's not. Yeah, everybody knows.
They're just cringe artists. They're not bad.
Okay, people. Well, to be fair, I don't really. Well, I never said they were bad. I just said they were pieces of shit. Unless I did say they were bad, and in that case, I must have misspoke.
Their character,
if you think that you need, I don't know, if you think that you need to make music just to appeal to critics, then yeah, your character is fucked.
What if you're like trying to appeal to critics in the sense that you're like trying to progress music forward, and you know that they're gonna appreciate it?
No, all progressive music was like first hated by critics, wasn't it?
Not always. Like, unless
you were already known as being a progressive band or artist, and you dropped something.
King Crimson's first album was the first prog rock album, and it was not hated. I mean, what's his face?
How do you know?
Robert Christgau.
Like, retrospectively, like, people always look back at albums and say, hey, this is good. It wasn't later, but at the time it was released.
I know Robert Christgau hated it, but he hates everything.
I don't know.
I've heard...
Maybe I'm putting it wrong, and I'm just trying to be harsh instead of being accurate of what my brain's... I don't know. The feelings are very strong with me, so I'm just like trying to put it harsh instead of trying to be accurate with my words.
Where would it be? Reception. Okay, these seem all old or new. Yeah, Village Voice gave it a D+. Robert Christgau hated it, but he's cringe, so who cares? Totally original and captivating was said at the time, I believe. I think. I can't tell if these are of the time or not, but whatever. Who knows?
Yeah, I think you may have a point, but...
I mean, yeah, I think it's fine.
I don't know if I'm communicating exactly what I'm trying to. I just feel so strongly that it's such bullshit if you're trying to... I don't know. Like, art itself...
It's offensive to you.
It is, because art itself is a medium of expressing who you are, And if you're not expressing who you are, then you're fucking wasting your time and you're a piece of shit. But then I guess if everybody ends up liking it, then I guess, well, you didn't waste your time. People like it. So I guess I don't know how that plays into it, but maybe I'm just adamant on like why one should make art. And maybe I'm wrong, but that's just what I think.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say the negative 80 is safe bet.
Hammett strongly posits that the band peaked during this time and really achieved the sound that they were aspiring to create, and they were working really well together. Recently, or in the past like 20 years, they don't work very well together. Hammett kind of seems like, from what I've seen from YouTube comments, Hammett seems like the child of two Ulrich and Hammett marriage couple that are always fighting and yelling, and he's kind of in the middle of it. So both Master of Puppets in their previous album, Ride the Lightning, and their fourth album, and one could even say their first album, feature similar structure with an acoustic song as the first track, a lengthy title track as the second track, a ballad-like track for track 4,
interesting,
an instrumental for track 7.
Really?
Yeah, but Master of Puppets is considered to be a much more epic and powerful in scope as compared to the other 4. But one, like that's the ballad track 4 of And Justice for All, ballad-like song.
And
Welcome Home.
Track 3 or track 4?
It's track 4. Track 4 on their
track 4
first,
here is Sanitarium.
Yeah, and then Fade to Black on Ride the Lightning.
Huh.
So, yeah, and then
cool.
the track
like
7 is
that.
always instrumental, and then track 2 is always the title track, and track 1 is kind of an acoustic intro. Blackened isn't really an acoustic intro, but it's a slowed intro for their fourth album. But
interesting.
Fight Fire for Fire
like
on
that.
their second album.
I kind of like that. That's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
It's like a signature of the band
Yeah.
is to formulate or to structure things that way.
Sure, I'm not totally against it. Lyrically, the album is about alienation, oppression, powerlessness, and being subconsciously manipulated. At the time, they were considered socially conscious.
Yeah.
Ooh, Metallica, so socially conscious. Today,
I
they
mean,
just
in
look
the
like
way
idiots.
that metal bands are.
Yeah.
War is bad.
Yeah.
Greed is bad. People are bad.
Right.
Like evil, Like,
Yeah.
it's been said now, but for the 80s, it was cool.
Title track on the album gained a lot of momentum and resurged back onto Spotify's charts after the finale of season 4 of a show, Stranger Things, which features a character playing the song. But it's crazy that I don't know if people recognize the song and were like, I want to hear this again, or if they were first introduced to it on that show and were like...
Dude, for Gen Z, overwhelming majority was first introduced, which is insane, isn't it? I mean, you can't blame them because it's so distant nowadays, the 80s compared to 2020.
No, it's not. We're still listening to the Beatles.
Not Gen Z.
I mean, I guess when I say we, what do I mean by that? It's not being played in grocery stores.
No.
So...
And you got to think,
I've definitely heard the Beatles
Fanbase is definitely probably mostly teen girls.
Yeah, those are the kind of people that would like the Beach Boys, though, not... Well, maybe not anymore.
Probably like the Backstreet Boys nowadays more than the Beach Boys, bro. So
it's like the more nihilistic version. In terms of the aesthetic, I meant. That's just a bad joke.
Backstreet Boys is nihilistic Beach Boys?
Well, in terms of... It was just a bad joke. In terms of, like, the aesthetic that I conjured in my head.
What?
I was like, the Beach Boys are on a beach. Backstreet Boys, you're in a back street.
So dumb, bro.
Yeah, it was bad. It was bad. I had said that, like, twice, and you still were inquiring. Can we just move on?
I want you to fester on this.
No. While touring and opening for Ozzy, the band would play riffs from his previous band, Black Sabbath, which he perceived as mocking him. But Metallica said it was because he inspired them so much. It was common for fans to come to see Ozzy and go home liking Metallica more. They played 45 minutes plus an encore, which is unusual for opening acts. Yeah.
The heck?
Again,
Ozzy was offended by them? Like he was pissed?
Dude, I'm telling you, they were pieces of shit people. I guarantee it. I have really no evidence other than they stole a bunch of their material and they're fucking idiots. And I hate them. God, I have so much resentment for this band. Why? I don't even know.
Because you have resentment for your childhood.
Probably. I was about to say that actually.
The personal.
They steal shit.
Controversy.
They don't make music for themselves.
Of the main members of the band?
Oh, they're all alcoholics.
Metallica.
They kick dogs.
Bro, you have no room to talk on that. One, you don't like dogs, and two, you're alcoholic.
You're 100% correct, but I'm still going to talk shit. I'm notably a hypocrite in some areas of my speech, so...
Hetfield struggled with alcoholism, that's fine. Rehab, okay, that's fine. Criticism for bear hunting, okay, it's not too bad. Vocal opponent of Napster, oh yeah, he was all about suing Napster and wanting money for his music instead of letting people listen to it. Ooh, he was in a controversial documentary. Interesting.
Yeah, I don't think these guys are people you should aspire or look up to at the end of the day. I think their music is a facade, and it's bullshit, I think.
Yeah, okay. Jason has had no controversies. His controversies
he also
being
had no
criticized
contribution
for
in Metallica.
being worse than Cliff Burton. That's his only controversy.
He definitely was worse than Cliff Burton. I think Mustaine and Burton were like the best guys of the band, and they left early, and Metallica fucked up for that reason, and I wish they never made it anywhere past when those guys left. And I don't respect them at all. And it's really just because I hate
Metallica.
It really is just because I hate my childhood. Every song on the album has been performed live at one point or the other.
That's not surprising.
Well, it's not. Name a single other album which every song has been played live on.
Yes.
Unless you only have one album.
Albums.
Any others? That's pretty common, I feel like, for prog rock, but like any others? Like Kendrick, is he going to play every song on an album at some point?
He had a live show before. He didn't play every song on the album, but he had a live show before Mr. Morale came out in Las Vegas. I think it was the same year or year before. And he played like almost equal sections of every album in his discography up to that point. And he had played songs that he'd never played before and songs they hadn't played in over 10 years live.
That's
so
sick,
went through everything, bro. It was the coolest live show I've ever watched on YouTube, next to Beach House, which is like so polar opposites. But that's sick. I love when people dig into their deep cuts. It's way nostalgic. But
right on.
Yeah, I don't necessarily know about every song and albums being played. Because usually there's like the standout 3 that get played and the rest are just left in the dust. But
yeah,
I mean, when the album is as iconic as this, it's not too surprising. I mean, Anthony Fantano, who's not, he likes metal, but he's not like a bro dude like guy at all. He's a vegan. That says all you need to know, really. Let's be honest.
Nah, that's an overgeneralization. But let's pretend I do.
Bro dudes are not. Venn diagram's very slim, but I digress. He did a retroactive, for each decade, would I have given, what albums of decades before I started reviewing music would I have given a 10? And he actually said Master of Puppets. He's like, I don't care what you guys say about it being overplayed. It is
my suspicions were correct bangers. Then.
What?
That Anthony Fantano is an idiot. As I write the word "alost" instead of "almost" in my notes. They Alost made Disposable Heroes the title of the album, and the artwork resembles the song content more than Master of Puppets. True. But Disposable Heroes was also the first song to be played live, and it was played well before the album's release. So they kind of thought that was the carrying point of the album, but I don't know what they were thinking. I don't know why they ended up changing their opinion, but China would not allow them to play the song Master of Puppets during their shows. But they subtly...
country of China?
Yeah.
Huh.
When they played live shows there, they wouldn't let them play, and they subtly played it anyways. They played short little riffs, but...
Okay, that's sick.
Other than that is all I have. Metallica's got a lot of stuff, a lot of controversy.
Not really.
I don't know why I hate them so much. Maybe I just hate myself. Maybe they just stand for everything I'm against, but I don't like Metallica.
Really?
I don't like the people. I like Slayer. Slayer's sick. Megadeth's sick.
No, they're not.
I like them. I think Anthrax is sick. Black Sabbath is sick.
But that's not even in the same planet. It's the same.
Yeah, I mean, those were the big four, I think. Megadeth, Metallica, Anthrax. But Iron Maiden sucks.
that's like a tier below. Like in terms of heaviness, I wouldn't think they're thrash, right?
Yeah, I don't think they're necessarily Flash either. Flash, I don't know. I just for some reason I just.
It's the most commercialized and polished and poppy of those bands that you just listed by far. Metallica.
Like, shouldn't I hate Nirvana more than this? I don't get it.
No. How dare you?
Nirvana makes worse music. I'm just kidding.
No, they do not.
Yes, they do. Anyways.
Wait.
I'm kidding.
Okay. I was about to say, your score is not going to be higher than 7, is it? That'd be insane. I guess I will see. Are we ready for the song for?
I'm going to have to introspect on that. Why do I hate them so much? Like, they make me inside a fire burns.
Hey, you were still jamming when it was playing.
I can jam to anything. I told you this.
All right. Battery! Track 1.
It was made because Hetfield improvised the main riff while relaxing in London. It refers to violence and assault. The word battery actually refers to like the assault battery.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Like the charge.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's all I have.
Okay. So since Battery's the first track, I kind of just have to go over a lot of like Prelude for kind of how I feel about the whole album.
Go for it.
So first thing I have to say, GPT came in clutch with this album.
How so?
Every song is so long. I want to say overbloated. Kind of repetitive. The riff, like a lot of them, is kind of verse chorus, verse chorus, verse chorus,
I have a lot
verse
of
chorus.
shit to talk on it
Guitar
later.
solo, verse chorus, verse chorus. Like, you know, it's the same riff happening throughout the whole 5 to 10 minute, or what, 5 to 8.5 minutes. It was hard to really, and I don't usually struggle with this, but it was really hard to distinguish the songs. It's for you.
That's how I felt with Tame Impala.
Dude, there's so much more instrumental diversity in Tame Impala.
Don't tell me that, because it's totally a personal thing. For me, I think there's more instrumental diversity in this album.
Objectively, that is not true.
Objectively,
there's
bullshit.
objectively more
You're telling me
variety.
you're objectively qualified to say
Aaron,
anything objective.
Aaron,
I don't believe that.
What instruments are in this album? 4 to
What instruments
6.
are in Tame Impala? A drum machine and a synth.
No, but the choices of sound of synth, like, come on, you can't just call a synth.
No, dude, it sounded more or less the same to me throughout the whole album than this album does, and that's from an honest. I swear, but also it's because I'm familiar with this album, whereas you're familiar with Tame Impala. Subjective, subjective.
Dude, Tame Impala is known for relatively complex sounds. This is not.
Give me one source that says he's got relatively complex sounds.
What kind of question is that?
Don't just tell me he's known for this and that and then not follow it up with anything. I'm sorry, I'm being a dick because I don't like Metallica. But I'm just saying,
You're defending
truly
Metallica
do.
right now. You're literally on their side.
I know,
right now.
I think Tame Impala's better. I just think that this album is more sonically diverse. But I'm telling you, it's just because of a personal thing. It's just because I'm so familiar with it.
Well, okay, that makes sense, but that doesn't mean, like, the song structures for the songs are almost all the same.
What am I saying right now, bro?
Yeah, that kind of blew me away. I was like,
wait,
what?
At least no. I will just say this. I have an easier time discerning the songs from songs
That makes sense.
on this album than Tame Impala,
makes
but
sense.
simply because I know this album.
Right. But there's not, okay. Now
But
we're on
sonically
the same page.
Diverse, that was a little bit of a stretch. You should have probably hit me for that.
I keep my emotions inside.
I don't. I'm so angry right now.
So look at this. I asked, tell me a little bit about each track of Metallica's Master of Puppets, and it gave a breakdown. This one's the fast-paced one. This one is, the long one. This one's the melodic one. And once I got that basic breakdown, then I could start to hear it.
So it was almost like a window as to looking. Like this provided a window as to how to interpret
when I'm
the songs.
5 minutes into an 8-minute song, I just kind of zone out.
know.
And I'm like, how am I supposed to finish this, bro? So, like, I couldn't discern almost any
What about
of the
when
songs.
you're
There
like
were
20
only-
minutes into an hour, 20-minute album that all sounds the same? That's even worse.
There was only one song that stood out on first listen that I didn't know before. It was Disposable Heroes, just because the back to the front like stood out to me, that chorus. But we'll get to that when we get to that. Don't get me wrong, though. As a prog guy, I am totally okay, and I love long songs. One of my favorite songs of all time is 18 minutes long. Amazing song. But the difference is that song has several different movements that it goes through and transitions into. It's not just angry metal riff, guitar solo, angry metal riff, guitar solo.
Well, what if the complexity of Metallica's music reaches deeper into people who are more related to those songs?
Gain from being as long as they are. They could all be cut in half and not lose anything, except Master Puppets, because
except album length.
That does go in. That song does have multiple movements.
Yeah,
but like most of these songs do not need that at all.
Yeah, but then they'd have to come up with more shit, and who wants to copy even more of what we've already copied? Don't want to do that.
I would say double the amount of tracks and shorten the length of all of them. That would have been perfect.
They can't double it. They aren't as creative. They don't have the creative intellect to double the amount of tracks.
More riffs.
They need about 3 years between albums.
What it reminded me of?
Their first 4 were created in probably less than like
a month.
Collectively like half a decade in terms of writing and recording.
What it reminds me of is, and this is a weird correlation.
I just like to talk
the weirdest correlations ever, but I'm gonna say it anyways. Tool's newest album, Fear Inoculum. Each song is not bad per se, but they're all too long. They go on for too long. I guess I just said the same thing twice.
I didn't even catch that, so you would have gotten away with that.
The songs are too long, and the album is too long. It just goes on, and it's just like, I don't want to finish this now.
Bro, how could they listen to their own shit? I wish, like, I bet most artists don't even listen to their own shit when it's done. They're probably just like, yeah, put it out.
Like,
just kidding, that's probably bullshit.
Tool always has at least 1 or 2 long 10 to 12 minute songs in each album. That's like, okay, this is the long song of the album. But their newest album was all the long songs, nothing short and heavy hitting, nothing exciting, just the long, slower songs. This whole album, Master of Puppets, feels like that. I get that the tempos aren't literally slow, but it didn't engage me. It's just the same formula, the same sounds.
Don't be talking shit on my childhood, bro.
And I mean, as you see, once we get to the score reveal, it's not going to be as bad as I'm making it out to be, because I don't need to sit and listen through the whole album. If I just listen to one song and then don't listen to
the rest, you get the idea.
If I listen to just one song and then move on, it's fine. It's fine. It's totally fine, if not good. But sitting through the whole album was hard.
You never got like this feeling of like, fuck yeah, dude, this shit's fucking badass.
A few times I did. But not as much as Nevermind. Even though it's not as heavy, it just feels way more energetic and yeah, let's freaking go. The type of cool that this album is almost kind of cringe cool to me. It's like a Metal Militia hat. You know Metal Militia?
Isn't that just a hard hat or some shit?
No, Metal Militia is that brand with the skull with the hard hat on. You've definitely seen this brand on some douchebag. This, bro.
Yeah, it's the hard hat. That's what I just said.
The skull with the hard hat, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, Metallica. Metallica cool is this, you know what I mean? Like,
oh my.
Sure, it's kind of
I'm sure this guy is complex, though.
For sure, like, sure,
not
the
brainly.
jacket's kind of cool. Like, sure, the jacket's kind of cool, and the hat is fine.
Some metal is sick, though. Come on, some metal's like, sick.
Yes, I know. One of my favorite bands is metal. 2, 3.
Who?
Deftones, Contortionist, Tool. Love all those bands.
Those aren't real metal.
Deftones, yeah, fine.
Okay, fine. Heavy metal.
Contortionist.
Heavy metal can be
heavy
sick.
Metal?
Black Sabbath is definitely heavy metal,
Bro,
but their
metal,
production was kind of.
It's too slow to be.
Yeah, you're right. All right, Slayer, dude. Slayer's sick.
Slayer, Rain and Blood is cool. The song, I don't know. I haven't listened.
Dude, when I saw them live, they had the crosses on the screen. And then they came out on stage and the crosses turned upside down. It was definitely edgy, representative of like that kind of
edgy
culture, but
it's like
I thought it was sick though. Cool. I thought it was sick. I was like, fuck yeah, dude. I was so stoked to see them play. And then Anthrax, their opener, played better.
So, okay, let me get back into what I was saying.
Nah. Anyways.
Yeah, it doesn't. I don't want to consume this album in one go. It was very hard to do. Clearly, Metallica is good at making thrash music.
They defined thrash music.
Right.
They pioneered it.
Right. But I don't think that this style of music is for me. I just don't.
I like their first album.
When I have t-shirts, I keep my sleeves on the t-shirts, you know?
You don't like to rip them off?
That's thrash metal. It's the dude with the sleeveless t-shirt. Like, that's not me. That's just not me.
Or maybe they just flexed so hard that the sleeves fell off. My brother has a shirt that says that.
Oh my God, bro. Yeah, he would love thrash metal then.
He does love thrash metal.
So
Eric, I would recommend you
I just had to get that out of the way. But with that said, specific to Battery, I like the little acoustic intro. I kind of think it's a good intro. It's cool that they set off a heavy metal album in kind of like a melodic, slow, almost touching like guitar way, you know, just like a soft guitar ballad. I think that sounds good. Then it suddenly converts the acoustic guitar into like a metal riff version, which is kind of cool too.
All right.
Yeah, chugging thrash metal glory. Nice start to the album. Song is super fast paced and would have been mind melting in the 80s to like the average layman. But in 2023, my mind is not melted. I'm just glad the song is only 5 minutes because that's just long enough to where I can enjoy
it.
I would say enjoy it. If this song was 8 minutes, bro, I could not. But it's 5, which is the shortest song on the album. But I'm down to throw it on occasionally if I'm in the mood for something more like thrashy, heavy metal, whatever.
Okay.
That's the worst voice crack ever.
I'm like about to start crying, bro.
All right, title track. You have to have a lot to say, right? It's the title track.
All right. Master Puppets consists of several riffs and odd meters with a cleanly picked middle section and melodic solo. Plenty of music theory behind the song that is widely available on the internet, so I'm not going to go into it. Go look it up on your own. It's boring. The lyrical theme is a cocaine addiction. The clean part was written years prior, but was changed several times. There's also James Hetfield. He performed that clean solo. It was his first performed solo on any album by Metallica. And James Hetfield is considered, I forgot to mention this, the creative force of the band.
Yeah.
Him and Ulrich.
Yeah.
But mainly him. And this was my shit back in the day. This was the song. Metallica was the band of my childhood. This was the album, and this was the song of my childhood. So
I'm expecting this to be the only plus one or the only zero, and everything else is negatives.
Okay, we'll go. That's all I have for it.
Okay.
Quite a long song.
It's hard to talk about this song. It's so iconic. Like, what do I even say that hasn't been said a million times? Quintessential thrash metal riffs, unmistakably Hetfield vocals. You got these insane guitar solos that are cringe. I honestly hate those types of guitar solos. I'm just going to say that now.
I'll get into it in the end.
I hate any guitar solo that's like sounds so dumb. Oscar, it sounds dumb, bro. I get it takes. I know it's.
Hang on, if we're talking shit, let me talk shit right now.
But it sounds bad.
It's not even that hard as long as you have like the proper. Like it really, that kind of stuff really does, and I'm probably gonna get so much hate for this, but it really does come down to the guitar that you're playing and the amp that you're using, the effects that you're using. But if you get those right,
such an ego that you feel like you have to max out how cool you think you are on guitar. It doesn't sound good.
Yeah,
it's like drum solos. It's like the same thing as like a drum battle. Like when you go like that doesn't sound good. It sounds stupid. But
okay.
I get it's hard to play, but who cares?
It's not that hard though, and that's what I'm saying. You get the right effect, right amp, and right guitar. It's not that hard to play.
You are gonna get hate.
Like when you mess up on it, when you mess up on these, like they're very meticulous solos. I'll be honest. Like you have to hit the notes just right. But when you don't hit them just right, it sounds like it's well incorporated into the solo. But if you have the wrong effect, then it doesn't sound well incorporated. That's my experience with playing these types of solos, which I don't very often. So maybe I have no room to speak. But
Like
it works when you just start jamming.
Waters solo or Gilmore. Yeah.
That's different.
Emotional, bro.
That's different. But these fast-paced, high-pitch, you can just hit any random note down there in the higher-pitched parts of the neck, and like it all just sounds like it works, even if you fuck up a bunch. So
it sounds dumb.
If we're gonna talk shit, though, let me talk some shit too.
On the guitar solos?
Yeah. So my biggest problem with Metallica is that their songs are long. Since their songs are long, they need to fit material in their songs. This poses a problem because their song needs to keep the listener engaged, and they do this specifically by inserting a high-pitched trash metal solo in virtually all of their songs.
No, every song
I
on
do
this
not
album,
want to
right?
hear it. It sounds bad.
Sounds
not
bad.
every song on this album. Every song they ever fucking made, bro. Every song they have, bro. And it sounds so bad. I understand it is a tough thing to fill your songs with material, and I have no solution. I have no solution on how to fill songs with material.
Shorter. Make the song shorter.
No. They're gonna make them long. That's their thing.
Why?
That's their thing.
Why do these have to be 5 to 8 minutes? Why can't they be
5 to 8 minutes?
3 to 5? And I
don't
like
know.
long songs, but there's
That's
just
just
nothing
not metal.
happening here.
But to fill them with a solo ruins the song, bro.
For real, dude. It was really hard.
At least make the solo sonically interesting. Like Master of Puppets' slower solo,
Dude,
melodic
that part
one
sounds
is a
great.
little better.
I love that part. Has been stuck.
I
in my
even
head
have
for
that.
days.
Master of Puppets kind of does this with the first melodic solo, but that's it. Every other Metallica song, at least on their first 4 albums, which is the 4 that they're known for, has a solo in every single song, bro. And it's just a long song, main riff, some chorus parts. Sometimes there's some bridges, and sometimes the riff changes from verse to verse. And then they include a high, whiny pitch guitar solo. Stop this, bro. Stop this. Stop this. It sounds so bad, bro. Oh my God, dude, I can't go on anymore.
No, seriously,
I'm losing my mind, bro. Every single song. Here we go again.
Yeah. And it's so formulaic too.
They sound all the same. None of them sound like they're higher or better than the
here's
others.
what I'll say.
And sure, I'm gonna get trash for saying that, but it's bad, bro. It's bad.
It is
It's bad. It's so
Here's
bad.
what I'll say.
Shut the fuck up. It's terrible, bro. I'll let you talk. I'm about to lose my mind,
Like
bro.
with Battery,
It's so
for example.
bad.
Battery, I was like, okay, I'm kind of into the riff. It's like heavy paced, but
And then
then that song, yeah, I'm like, ooh.
I'm literally evolved not to like that high pitched bullshit, bro. Why are you playing this to my ears, bro?
Seriously.
Stop this.
'Cause, like the
Stop
moment that
this.
happened, I'm like, can I really actually like this song?
No,
But it's like,
you cannot.
It's like 10 seconds of the song, but it almost single-handedly ruins the entire 5 minutes.
so bad,
It's so
bro.
bad. It's so cringe.
I get
It's
it.
so
You can play
cringe.
guitar and you can make whiny, annoying sounds. Now stop, bro. You've proved your point. I'm sorry if I said anything to offend you, made you feel like you had to play this. I'm sorry, but just stop
It really
now.
is an ego thing, bro. It really is.
Oh my God,
Here's
bro.
one thing. Shout out.
Look what I can play.
Shout out. Shout out to our local goth representative. But there's a band. I don't remember the band. I think it's Lycia. And the guitarist of Lycia made a comment because someone asked the guitarist, why don't you ever do guitar solos in any of your songs? And he's like, the only people who do guitar solos are guitarists who have egos. I don't care. Like, I don't need to flex my skill.
We're gonna get so much hate for this.
I don't need to
Like,
flex.
there's a big group of music that definitely
and there's a difference
plays
between,
high pitched guitar
There's a
solos.
difference between a guitar solo that's like you're pouring your emotions out, you
Right.
know, and you feel
Right.
that. Like guitar could be such a beautiful.
And maybe their
emotional
emotions are
instrument.
like that, where
But
they feel like
no
they gotta
one's
do high
emotions are-
pitch. No, they might be, but it's
What
dumb.
emotion is that, bro?
I don't know. That's something that's going on inside them. I've never had it, therefore I don't like it. But it's a dumb
Absurd.
emotion, whatever
It's
they're
absurd.
feeling.
It's absurd. It's absurd. It's absurd.
It's terrible,
It's
bro.
absurd.
It kills my life, bro. It drains. I swear, when I heard this album, I lost 5 years off my life.
That's the best part of my life.
I drained. I'm drained, bro.
Like imagine Nirvana with Noodly Guitar Solos. I would have hated every song on the album.
Yeah,
imagine-
it's bad,
It's
bro. It's not good.
Oh, horrible.
I get it, but stop. Not every song, please.
For real.
Please.
If you had it in one song, like
It'd be-
the song
okay,
of the
this is
album,
kinda
then
sick
it'd
for
be
some
like, ooh,
people,
let's
and-
go. But every song,
Every
bro.
single song, bro.
It's like, is that a requirement of thrash?
No, it's a requirement of Metallica because they don't know how to fill their long ass songs with anything else, bro.
Why are they so long?
I don't know, but just stop.
Like, this is the only time
stop.
we've ever done this, but when we were setting up, we always play the album on shuffle just to, just kind of remind us of various songs. We didn't get through a single song. We had to skip halfway through because we would have gone through like 2 songs. And there was one song, it was like 3 minutes in out of 8. And I'm like, is it almost over? Like, can we skip it?
And then they start the solo.
It's like, holy crap. These all sound, it's bad. We'll get to that song later. Okay, is that it?
Yeah.
Okay.
If you were going to tear it up, I might as well tear it up instead of twice in one episode.
Master of Puppets, other than the stupid guitar solo. There are great...
Which I think are all written by Hetfield, but played by Hammett. Hetfield's a piece of shit.
There are masterful parts of this song. There are great parts of the song. I would even go as far as say it's a great song.
I might say it's the best on the album. I might say.
It's a great song. It's a solid
We're talking
song.
about Master of Puppets,
Yes,
the song.
yes.
Yeah.
But once again, outside of the dumb, stupid, penis shriveling solos, I like the lyrics too. I kind of like the whole idea of like the puppet master being these drugs because you're so helpless to the addiction that you feel like you're tied up on strings. I think that's cool. I like the imagery. Cool stuff. I like that. Handful of really standout moments instrumentally too. I love the slow down section. And I also like, there's a really cool riff. I'll play it. I timestamped it specifically so I could play it because there are some solid moments in this song. This is a solid song overall. This part's sick. I love how the other guitar gets in on it too. That part sounds sick.
The drumming, the drumming is pretty sick. The drumming is pretty sick too.
And then it gets right back into the freaking
Right, that was
riff.
kind of just a bridge. Like I said,
bro.
they sometimes have a little bridge.
That part is awesome. I think I really just love melodies or harmonies when
that's why you
people
love the Beach
join
Boys.
in. Oh, bro, they have the best vocal harmonies of any
We'll get
band
into
ever,
it.
bro.
We'll get
ever.
into it.
But yeah, it just sounds more interesting. If one instrument is doing something good, why not throw the second one in there doing something good? It just makes it slightly better.
I should make a song where there's like 35 instruments all doing the same melody.
That. I would probably love that. We need to
Not different instruments. I'd probably have like 10 guitars, like 8 synths, 3 basses, like 2 acoustic guitars.
We need to do a music sucks some more on this topic, but I genuinely think any song would sound better with more good instruments on it. There's no exception. Any simple song would sound better if you added more good instruments to it.
Plunderphonics, that's all sampling.
I don't really know in that case, but like Yesterday by the Beatles. Simple song, but it's way better because of the orchestra. So if you added more on top of the orchestra, it would have been even better.
You know whose choice it is to add more shit?
George Martin. I know. The legend for that one.
No, I said you know whose choice it is to add more shit.
Oh, well, in that case, it was George Martin.
The producer. Most of the time.
Brian Wilson did it all himself. Just saying.
Yeah, I mean, he produced a lot of their shit from what I know. So
whatever. But yeah, also the best part of the song.
Their later shit, at least.
Best part of the song is the slow. It is a guitar solo, guys. So don't crucify me.
But we're getting hate. I know people who are specifically watching this episode.
Can we even make that into a short, or will it just destroy our lives?
I'm willing to destroy my life right here and now. Don't crucify him, but crucify me. I fucking hate you and all your guitar solos and your high metal pitch bullshit. Fuck you. And kill me if you have to. Just kidding. Now I'm getting too drunk.
As long as they don't find out where you live, we're good. We're good. Most metal.
I'll fucking tell you. Come fucking kill me, dude. I'll leave it in the description below.
No, don't do that because I also work here. 351, the slow guitar solo. So sick. Sounds awesome. This is when guitar is emotional. It's when you put emotion into it, not when you're going. But whatever, we'll play it. We'll play it.
I'm on your side, but.
Yeah, it sounds awesome, bro. Touching. emotional. It's a great section of the song.
I think that's not a hot take. I think most people do agree that this song is great, probably for not just this. I'm sure there's some other key stuff, but this is probably one of the biggest things. People love that little melodic solo.
It's awesome.
In the context of metal, it makes it even cooler.
It's awesome. It's awesome. The song is overall very good. It's very good. It's awesome.
Okay.
The thing that should not be.
I have to go first on this.
Okay.
This song is a reference to H.P. Lovecraft's creature, Cthulhu Mythos.
Which you didn't know about, apparently. I remember I told you like a couple weeks ago about Cthulhu, and you didn't know who that was.
I still don't even know who the fuck H.P. Lovecraft is. Just kidding, it's some author. It is considered one of the heaviest songs on the album.
Darkest.
And when I played this song through my speaker, I did not change the volume. It had been the same volume as all the other songs I had listened to prior. But for some reason, I felt like the fucking speaker... I felt like it was just a crazy evil song because of how heavy it was, and I thought it was going to blow my speaker. No, just a couple days ago. I thought it was going to blow my speaker just because how heavy and evil it sounded, but I didn't give a fuck, bro. I was like, if I'm going to blow my speaker to any song, it's got to be this one.
What? You like this song?
I don't necessarily think that means I like it. I'm just saying, I heard it. It sounded evil. It was going to blow my speaker, and I was like, if I'm going to blow my speaker, like, I'd best not blow it to some pussy shit and just blow it to this.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
I didn't even care. I figured it was best to blow it to this song. I didn't turn it down. I was like, just blow. Just fucking blow.
This was one of the songs I needed GPT's help with, but when it described it as the dark song of the album, I'm like, okay, that is absolutely the case. It definitely is the darkest and moodiest and like gloomiest. It's a little bit slower, not as thrashy, rather than like banging your head like a freaking fish flopping on like a deck. It's more chuggy, you know, almost doom metal adjacent.
Sure.
Lyrics are also somewhat interesting. Like you said, they're about like a Lovecraftian style behemoth, Cthulhu. But nothing about the song catches my ear particularly. The chorus and verses aren't all that engaging to me. And by the 2-minute mark, and I did time it, by 2 minutes, I'm like, okay, I've heard it. I've heard the song. And it continues going on for another 4 to 6 minutes. I don't need that.
And they have the 1 minute long guitar shredding. And we get it. You can shred. You're good at guitar, okay? I admit it. You're good at guitar. You're better than me. You're probably one of the best on the planet. I'm sorry. I get it, though.
I would rather listen to Jack Johnson strum on a ukulele than listen to this dude noodle for...
I would rather listen to... What's it called when a president gets...
His inauguration speech?
Yeah, I'd rather listen to a presidential inauguration speech.
Me too, but it's because I like politics. Next song?
Yeah. So,
all right, Welcome Home, Sanitarium.
This song was based on Ken Kesey, one of the main characters of the Acid Test, Electric Blade Acid Test book.
I'm beginning to recognize.
It was based on his novel, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Have you ever seen the movie or read the play?
No.
You ever heard of Nurse Ratched?
No. Nurse Ratched?
You are totally out of touch with 60s culture if you have never read or seen the movie.
I don't do books, bro.
I know, but at least watch the movie, dude. This is iconic 60s stuff.
It's the dude in the...
I know, but he got famous from this one novel.
Okay.
At least watch the movie. It's a good movie, too. It has Jack Nicholson in it.
I like him. I'd be feeling like Jack Nicholson with all this snow. Every day, I feel more and more deranged.
Losing your mind.
Seriously.
It's supposed to parallel Fade to Black, obviously, with this balladry, but the song almost absorbed...
It is the ballad. It is the melodic track of the album.
The song almost absorbed Orion, so it was supposed to be a much longer song. It was the whole song of Orion was supposed to be included.
Oh,
maybe I have that slightly off, but there's something I'm saying that there's some truth to that.
I could not have done that, dude.
The riff is claimed to have been stolen by a 60s band, Bleak House, and their song Rainbow Warriors. Look up Rainbow Warriors. You will recognize. Yeah.
All right. Let's first play Sanitarium. What was it when it was talking?
I don't know. I can't remember.
That part sounds sick.
Just look it up and you'll see.
What is it? Rainbow Warriors?
Rainbow Warriors by, I believe it's a 60s band, by
Who cares?
Bleak House.
Yeah. That's
recognize it?
1 for 1.
They stole it.
It is the intro
Yeah.
riff then, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, but they reimagined it. If they had stolen it but given
No,
credit,
I
would
bet
it
they
have been
played
cool?
it exactly how it was, and then the mixer
but they-
reamped it and
Oh, okay,
reimagined
true.
it.
But they did reimagine the context of this riff.
Sure, but did they give
have
them any
given-
credit?
Yeah, no, probably. Almost guaranteed.
I
that,
doubt
yeah.
it. They didn't give Cliff Burton or Dave Mustaine credit, probably when he deserved it a lot more than just Leper Messiah. But
True.
you fucking losers. I hope you guys watch this one day. Just kidding. They probably already regret their mistakes. I should probably give them a little bit of a break. But I do
Right.
demand a letter to my house saying that
We got to do the new Metallica album and see if they're still doing up to no good.
They're up to worse, bro. They're literally up to worse.
Okay. So here's what I have to say about Sanitarium. The singing isn't as the other songs are, which is a nice
I don't
break.
think it ever sounds like that.
He does that like Metallica, that type of thing.
Now it is Metallica!
Not-
like a thrash
Nah,
voice.
Bro, give me a break. He definitely hits that.
Now he hits the ha! He's hitting the ha the whole album.
At the end of every word? Or
Master!
at the end of every...
Master!
Oh, well, that's way different. I'm talking about when he's...
Face the thing that should not be.
Be.
Be. Kind of a little bit of both.
Though. It's not a be. It's be. It's got that.
Sure.
Type of sound.
It's like a villain in a video game.
So it's a little more singing, which I like, as opposed to the aforementioned. It's a nice break. I said, as you referenced, the lyrics tackle mental illness and talk about a mentally ill patient, but this theme is not that unique to the genre. Mental illness is a common topic in metal. I also went on to say none of this album's lyrics really are anything unique to the genre. Anti-war,
Of course, it's fucking
Evil.
Metallica. They're not original.
but
The fuck did you
I will
expect?
say the song's melodic guitar work and more touching solos make up for the genericness of the rest of the song. The Noodly guitar solos, eye rolling and dumb sounding as it always is, always will be. Well, I can't say that, but
It is on their newest album, I'm sure. I can say that.
maybe in the 80s this was cutting edge, like this song, the style. But considering this is the latter half of the 80s, it seems more like they're phoning the sound in rather than pushing the boundaries of the sound.
Yeah, I would agree 100%.
Right.
Which is what their goal was with the album. They'd already established thrash metal in the sound. They just wanted to refine it into something the critics would like.
You don't like that?
I don't want to get into it. You wouldn't want to get into that, trust me.
No, I wouldn't. Well, let's move on to Disposable Heroes.
So this is an anti-war song about a young man whose fate is controlled by his superior. Period. It is the fastest tempo song on the album.
Sounds kind of sick.
Not by much, but
No, yeah, I agree. It's one of the most
that's like a fact.
sick. Like tempo-wise?
Yeah, it's the fastest tempo on the
Really?
album.
Battery is pretty intense.
That's why I said not by
Damage
much.
Incorporated?
It's fastest.
Wow, okay. Song is kind of sick. Despite me complaining about the length of each song, one of 3 8-minute songs, or 2 of the 3 8-minute songs are of my like top favorites, I guess. This being the other one. I like the riffs. I like the chunky bass. I like the lyrics. I think it's not original within the genre, but I like how as he delivers the verses each time, it gets quicker and quicker and quicker before leading up into that chorus of "You will do what I do."
When I say
back to the front.
back to the front.
That sounds kind of sick. You will die when I say you must die. Back to the front. It's like Yeah, let's go. That sounds freaking sick.
It's definitely...
I like the lyrics. It's sick. Like the idea, like, and it's funny because so many Metallica bro dude, like douchebag fans of Metallica are probably like pro, like bootlicker types who like love the military and whatever. But Metallica is literally straight up.
I love the military.
What are y'all doing? Like you're literally just throwing yourselves away, your lives away for nonsense government that doesn't care about you at all. So yeah, Metallica's not with you guys. You little blue.
If they cared about you, they would introduce
flag
weed
having
stamps
users.
along with food stamps.
It would at least be legal, for Christ's sake, but we won't get into that. Yeah, this song is almost basically calling people idiots for sacrificing themselves to a government that sees you as cannon fodder, essentially. Minus points for the cheesy Noodly guitar solo, but it was a little better than the average Noodly guitar solo in the rest of the albums.
So you do identify on some level. You don't think it's all just one guitar. Like you think they can sound good.
Sections of, like there would be Noodly and then there would be a
because I'm from the opinion that none of them sound good.
None of them sound good, but this was the best of the worst.
I can't even say that. I can't pick one out. I think Master of Puppets' slow melodic one is good, but
in it that were nice, or like a few harmonies where both guitars would do it and sound kind of cool.
Sure.
It was a bit more melodic too than the other ones that are just all over the place, ridiculous nonsense. But song absolutely could have been 5 minutes and lost nothing of value. Literally nothing. Why is it an 8-minute song? If you want, dude, here's the thing. If you want to keep listening to it, just repeat it. You don't need to actually make the length of the song repeated 3 times.
You could also argue if you don't want to hear it, then stop listening to it.
Yeah, I do. I skip most of the songs halfway through. This is one of few that I like enough to listen to, but that just doesn't need to be this long. It hurts the album, just like with Fear Inoculum of Tool. Once again, every song is just bloated. It is just bloated.
Hey, yeah!
Just for you viewers who couldn't see his foot, he literally just tapped his cat's ear and the cat flinched like loser beta male cat that he is.
You talking to me?
No. Leper Messiah. My first sentence is another song on the album. Which is factually true. You can't disagree with me.
You got a point. He's got a point. Next song. I'm just kidding.
Do you have anything on this one?
This song challenges the hypocrisy of televangelism, which
once again not a very unique or interesting topic
for the culture. Yeah. The communication of Christianity over TV and radio is what televangelism is, for those who don't know. And it emerged in the 80s and the song challenges the mindlessness of the followers and program. The story goes that a certain group of Christians went around on private jets getting people to pay them so that payers could get into heaven.
Yeah.
So this song challenges those people who the song thinks are idiots.
Fair.
Which they themselves are idiots, so I don't know if they have any room to talk. Just kidding. They're both idiots. That's fine. I'm an idiot too. We're all idiots.
I feel like this song is a bit of a solo fest as well. I feel like it has a little more than the average, or since it's a little shorter, if it even has 2, that it feels more solo of a solo fest. And as a Noodly guitar solo hater, the song was not for me.
I will say, though, there was a point that this song specifically was my favorite on the album. You never get with the whole... like that whole rhythm.
The riffs.
I definitely think this album I've circulated as almost every song has been my favorite on the album. No, I shouldn't say that. I guess what I'm trying to say is that there are a select few songs that have circulated as my favorite on the album, including
Heroes?
Nope, Never Disposable Heroes, Leper Messiah, Orion, Master of Puppets, Sanitarium, and track 3, Thing That Should Not Be. Those have all rotated throughout my childhood as being my favorite songs on the album. So I'm not going to throw a bunch of shade at this song because I did like it at some point more than any other song on the album. And I think that it has that place on the album, that it has the potential to be your favorite song if you've never heard it. So, but also, obviously,
I didn't see Leper Messiah.
I don't like Metallica.
Out,
so.
Literally in the least. Like,
right. If you, it was probably the last of my songs to be circulated as my favorite.
I'd say Leper Messiah is the.
But I know people. I'm not going to say their names, but I do know people that review.
Are they actually people?
Have you met them before?
No, like, are they real people?
Well, have you met them before? Well, then maybe they're not people.
Oh, are they like slugs disguising themselves as people?
Well, I'm just saying, if you've met them and shook their hand, then they're probably people. Which you probably have. Unless you yourself are not a people.
I've shaken slugs' hands. Upper echelon for me, since we already passed all the songs that were upper echelon. Obviously, Master of Puppets, Sanitarium.
You're going to get hate for that. A lot of people love the next song, but...
Oh, give me a break, you losers. Let's just talk about the next song, Orion.
This was the longest that remained my favorite song on the album in circulation. It remained on there as my favorite the longest.
So here's what I wrote. Imagine this. The sound of the entire rest of the album minus the... Because there's no vocals.
Yeah, I was going to say this is an instrumental
So
song.
literally, let's just imagine that. If you've imagined this album...
I disagree.
Congealed minus vocals.
I disagree.
Oh, and the song is 8 minutes long for some godforsaken reason.
I disagree.
Okay.
The song is a product of Cliff Burton. And Cliff Burton was part of Metallica's small creative genius that they kicked out the first one before they even recorded their first album. But Cliff Burton is their second genius. And this song is a product of him. And this song displays, for those, most people confuse the bass solos on this song, which are mistaken for guitar solos, which I don't like how Metallica does that.
Yeah,
they make the bass literally into the treble range.
Yeah.
Let me just make our bass sound like another guitar, which is stupid, but I think Cliff Burton really does display his prowess in the band on this song.
Though. It's just over solo.
It's none of it's high pitch soloing. I mean, they do have a high pitch solo in there, but I mean, this whole song is basically just one long bass solo. No, it's not. I can't say that, but it is a bass song.
It was bass,
which is similar to. No, I'm not going to mention that song, but if you listen to their first album, you know what song I'm talking about. But it's a bass song, and it's inspired by Ziggy Stardust stuff from David Bowie. It's created in a way that should resemble an orchestra, but they use guitars and bass instead. And I think that this song, in according to critics, is probably the second highest rated song behind the title track.
Why?
Because it's a display of good bass playing, good bass production.
Okay.
I don't know if I necessarily agree that it's good bass or good bass production, but it's definitely, I understand why it's recognized as being a highlight song.
Really? Okay. It's fine. I don't hate it. It's just like 8 minutes of instrumental Metallica. It's like...
I would also say this is Metallica's best instrumental.
I can't.
Except for obviously their first album. You know what song I'm talking about.
Why won't you say it?
Pulling Teeth, Anesthesia, Pulling Teeth on their first album. Another of Cliff Burton's display of his ingenuity.
I did admit...
Have you heard that song?
No, I've heard nothing from Kill 'Em All.
That song, dude, doesn't even sound like Metallica. That actually is a good song, bro. I'll have to show you that after this.
Okay. There are some highlights in this song, though. I namely wrote this section, which starts off atmospheric. I almost went as far as to say kind of psychedelic. No, it's towards the middle. Then it leads into a soothing melodic guitar solo. Or I guess bass solo. But this part was cool. Let's play it. JK, there's nothing cool in this song.
Right here?
Yeah, you get how it's almost like psychedelic-y. It's got like atmosphere to it.
Yeah.
And then it's about to lead into a guitar solo, which is nice.
I think this is a bass solo. Can you hear the bass or no?
No, I thought the bass was going boom.
I don't know. My brother told me that, but I can't hear it anymore.
True.
Wait, maybe I can. Yeah, I can.
So this is a guitar
So that
solo.
is a guitar solo. My brother lied to me.
It's a nice sounding guitar solo. Yeah, that was a good section of the song, but it's 8 minutes long. I don't want to listen to it.
Used to be I used to jam to this shit in 4th grade, bro.
Yeah, I would have loved it in 4th grade too. Like literally.
When
like
I was like a prokaryote or some shit in terms of complexity.
Prokaryote. I love how we're just dehumanizing people who don't like our music at this point.
I don't like a lot of music. You don't like any of my music. I get it. That's who we are. That's fine. I'm a piece of shit. You're a piece of shit.
I like some of your music.
We can both be pieces of shit. You're the biggest piece of shit.
Okay. Next song. You have anything left on Orion?
No.
All right. Damage Incorporated. Or should I say Damage Incorporated?
This song is just bad, bro.
This is the cringiest song on the album, bro.
It's the only song to feature vulgar lyrics, which people were trying to give it.
So cringe.
People were trying to give it like, what's it called when you put the
flack?
No, when you put what's it called?
Like a cheer?
Mature, like it's like a rated R movie. Exclusive content or some
advisory?
shit. Parental advisory. They were trying to put it on and Metallica was like, why? We only have one song. And they were like, no, it's all throughout the album. Critics were saying that, and like people, they were like, no, there's not.
That is dumb. But what's also dumb is just the unnecessary vulgarity. It just sounds like it's the most bro douche metal song on the album by far, bro.
It might be the worst song on the album.
I would say it is. I would say it is by far. It starts off with like a washed out, melodic, soft electric guitar solo, which sounds totally fine. The intro's fine. But then it gets blasted by another bloated, fast-paced, basic thrash metal track. It's like metal, like that type of metal, like, just cringy, cheesy type of metal. Edgy, just like, whoa, you said a bad word. That's crazy cool, bro. Yeah. I don't think the lyrics do any favors. The Damage Incorporated, like whispering, cringe, sounds stupid. This is the song of someone who wears muscle shirts with graphics about being awesome that he bought from a Facebook advertisement. You know those shirts I'm talking about? It's like
I see Instagram ads, but I don't really see Facebook ads.
People born in December are the coolest people. Like, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, he also wears a backwards Metal Militia hat. 100%. 100%. This is a song of those people. Let me look up those cringe Facebook shirts. That song it's such a dumb song. Lame song. Yeah, like these, bro. These. You know what I'm talking about? This style of shirt.
Yeah. I am gay.
Yeah, that one's probably ironic, but you'll just get these like based on exactly what you look at. It'll like make the shirt for you. So you can't scare me. I have an awesome daughter. She's a little bit crazy with a fire on her soul. She's a lifetime kind of woman. I'm a lucky one because I get to be her dad. Mess with me and she'll destroy you faster than a Category 5 hurricane. Yes, she bought me this shirt. Like, Christ's sake, bro. Someone who wears this shirt. Well, okay, this one's also ironic, but the people wear these shirts unironically. There are people at UPS who have these shirts unironically. They love Damage Incorporated.
What if you wear it?
Guaranteed.
What if you wear it unironically, but also you're
100%. I'm a grumpy old man. I was born August 16th. I'm too old to fight, too slow to run. I'll just shoot you and be done with it. With a skeleton wearing a
look at the model too.
This guy loves Damage Incorporated.
What if you're a person who though does things unironically, but your whole personality is itself like ironic, but you might not even know it?
Then you're awesome. Then you're a character that you would like.
Because I just kind of described my dad. I think he would wear something like this unironically, even though his whole personality, without him knowing it, is like already ironic.
He listens to the clean version of Eminem songs, correct?
Yeah, he does. Eminem, but the clean version.
Fudge. Oh, okay, yeah. Yep. Bad song, dumb. But once again, keep in mind, when I trash on songs, doesn't necessarily mean that I'm going to give them a negative score, because I tend to like all music. So if I don't like a song and give it a 0, that means that there are negative attributes that I'm going to be giving it. I'm just saying. So, yeah, cringe song. Cringe.
We done?
Listen to it. Yeah?
I'm going to mention a couple of things real quick. So I don't know exactly why, but do you remember when I talked about people's propensity to like sink into madness even without them knowing? Like, this album reminds me of that feeling.
The Shining. This
Yeah.
is the all work and no play make Jack a dull boy album.
It's not the sound. I don't know exactly what it is, but like it just makes me feel like
And the other
people
Metallica
are
albums
going
don't?
mad. They might, but I haven't heard them as definitely not Kill 'Em All. But this album makes me feel like people are going mad. And the last time I had
That
such
sounds cool though. That sounds like a kind of a dope.
well,
album.
it's interesting. The last time I had such a vivid experience of like what it's like to be mad, other than this album, was when I was regularly using LSD, and I was like actually on LSD, and I was like, damn, like being mad is so vivid right now. But this album goes close to that experience. You know what I mean? And that's what's interesting.
I see.
I was a Metallica head though for about 5 years. I went through their entire discography on a monthly basis.
Real.
On a monthly
Load,
basis.
Unload, or reload.
Yep.
Saint Anger.
Saint Anger, Garage Days.
I've never even heard of that one.
That's all covers. What did they have between the Black Album and Load? I don't think they had anything. I think it went Black Album to Load. Saint Anger, Death Magnetic.
Wow.
Everything. I had their discography on repeat on a monthly basis, and not developing a likeness for any other music I was hearing at the time, although I wasn't really looking for different music. To this day, because of those times in my life, to this day, I can recall the entire track list without having to think about it in a matter of 10 seconds.
He did.
Of at least this album. Any other album, maybe their first...
Dark Side of the Moon. You can do that too.
I can do Dark Side of the Moon. But maybe Metallica's second album, fourth album are the only other albums by Metallica. I can do that too, but
I can
the
do
album
it with,
that
Close to the Edge, and You and I.
that's only 3 songs.
Siberian Khatru.
I think their first 4 albums by Metallica all feature 8 tracks.
No, interesting.
Maybe not their first one, but
bro, that shirt. That's a Metallica fan shirt, bro. I am the weapon.
if he wore it unironically, then yeah.
Yeah, which this dude is. Look at he's got tribal tattoos on his arm.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. He could probably beat me up.
Most Metallica fans could beat us up. But we win in the battlefield of ideas.
Which is a metaphorical battlefield that doesn't actually exist. I'm just kidding. Okay, so scores?
Oh man. Am I ready for the scores? Who wants to go first?
You can go first.
I think I have the less extreme score. So here's what I was thinking when I was scoring this album. And I'm sure I had some biases in it just because this album is so revered. I'm like, okay, this is the thrash metal album, one of the metal albums of all time, one of the 80s albums of all time. So I can't just massacre it. So I tried hard to like it. I did. I really did. And I found songs that I liked. The biggest problem is, like I said, consuming the entire album. It was really difficult. It is not a good album listening experience, in my opinion. But
there's so many people that would disagree with you. I know that so heavily.
It's weird. It's weird. I don't get it. It's so samey to me, but I digress. But like I said, these songs, detached and just listening to on their own, I am okay with most of them and like some of them. I even love one of them. Obviously, that would be the title track. It's a freaking iconic song with great moments. So it's a lukewarm score. I tried to like it more, but I couldn't give it any higher of a score than, drum roll please. Did I pass it? I forgot. Oh yeah, I did pass it. 67. This was me.
What? You like this album more than Death Grips?
As an album listening experience, absolutely not. But
oh,
dude, you know how offensive of a low of a score this is to 99% of the world?
Wait till you fucking see my score.
Here's what I'm just saying.
I cannot. No. What do you have? A +2?
I said Master
you
Puppets is
love
lovable.
That song?
Dude, that song is
You
Iconic.
love Master of Puppets.
I tried to.
No. You love Master of Puppets.
If I hear it played right now and I hear that the melodic guitar solo, I'm like, okay, I love that. But I don't know. If
we have reached DEFCON 0. This is a societal collapse situation.
If we did decimals, it's probably a 1.15, but we don't, so I'm just going to round off. I'm trying here, dude. 67 is sacrilegious. All
the people who verify you as sacrilegious can suck my nuts based on my score.
Remember, I'm supposed to be like the music critic, half of the dynamic. So this is already outrageously low for the guy who's supposed to represent the masses of music critics.
There's ain't no way I'm representing Metallica, bro. Negative 102. This is the lowest album I've ever rated so far. The highest score is a 0. It occurs on Orion.
And
it occurs on Welcome Home Sanitarium.
Okay.
It occurs on Master of Puppets.
Okay.
The rest, I have one -1, track 3.
-2 for Disposable Heroes?
Yes, I hate that song.
Why?
I hate all of this album, bro.
Battery
is so bad, bro.
Cool.
No, it's not. The moment the intro ends and it goes, dun, 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 I'm like, dude, fucking, I was having a good time and you just ruined it.
True metal, this type of metal is just so
Leper Messiah, maybe it would be closer to a -1 because that's the only one of the rotation of my favorite songs that is rated a -2. But Disposable Heroes,
hatred.
Leper Messiah, both terrible, dude. I hate them.
Disposable Heroes is
Master
sick,
Puppets,
bro.
I should probably even rate most of this -1 because if this comes on, like, it's not something I want to hear, bro. I'm like, stop this. But Master Puppets comes on, I guess I'll be okay with it.
Oh my god, bro.
I'd probably say Orion is my favorite song on the album.
I just processed the fact that people are gonna watch this video and see this.
I'm probably gonna get assassinated. It's a
like,
bad album, bro. There's
realize,
so
though,
much better stuff
you
than
do
this.
realize,
Like, it's mind blowing.
If my co-host was Oscar, right, and he gave it like 180, and I gave it 67, I would get assassinated. But because of how badly low
I'll take
your
the fall
score
for
is,
this one.
I am like,
It is a terrible album. This is the worst album we've done so far. I hate this. I hate it. I don't like this album. I don't want to hear it. There's so much more interesting shit on the forefront of music.
Of course there is.
There's so much music in the world, and this should not live at the top, bro.
No.
Absolutely not.
It's fine.
It is not fine, bro. Turn this shit off the moment it comes on, bro.
You know you're being a bit over the top. Do you actually think this?
Well, that's a very interesting question. Let's introspect and let's take a minute to analyze the situation.
It's not.
No, I don't want to hear it. Maybe okay. If I had never heard it and I was like you, I can see this score.
Okay.
I've heard it, bro.
If I knew
I've heard
yeah,
it.
You've heard it. You know it.
This album lives in the depths of my consciousness, bro.
No, I get that. I
don't want to hear it.
I get that.
I do not want to hear it.
I understand. But, dude, I really just don't get... Like, here's the thing. I don't see any upward movement. Period.
I see downward movement for sure. I had a worse opinion on this album before we did it as an episode. I had a way worse opinion, dude. Everything was -1s at least.
I could maybe
I don't like this song.
see Orion going +1. But I could also see Master of Puppets going +1, which would level it out back to 67.
No, because Master of Puppets is...
a few seconds shorter. It'd probably be
it's longer.
Oh.
By 4 seconds.
Okay, so it'd probably be 66.
Interesting.
But yeah, I don't know.
I always felt like it wasn't that long of a song.
It's
but Orion was a
movements.
pretty long.
It's because it has more movement.
Well, I liked Orion more than it though.
That I
so
can't
it doesn't
fathom.
feel.
But yeah,
Orion, I'll say it's okay. I mean, it's like in the neutral 0.
I don't
but
know
everything
what to tell
else,
you guys. I tried to like it.
I know what to tell you guys.
I tried.
Go look for other music. If you
seriously,
think that this is the epitome of music, go find other shit.
Not only just in... Here's the thing, though. Like with you couldn't have just leaped from this to Flume or to Kendrick. You would not have liked it.
No.
There needs to be a gradual weaning off. So I'm not saying don't listen to Metallica. Go listen to freaking
I am.
Ultimate Spinach.
Go listen to Death Grips.
They were gonna
Immediately.
Hate it. No, that's not.
Maybe I just have like such a violent temperament when it comes to this album.
Here's what I'll say. I mean, with
I just
all
don't.
things,
Or maybe it's just Eric. Maybe it just.
Is this his favorite album?
I would not be surprised, but I know he's heard a little bit more than this. He likes Iron Maiden.
Okay.
I
like Number of the Beast by Iron Maiden.
I'm so out of pocket this episode, and I'm sorry. I just don't know how else to like. I have to take my
This has been awesome.
I have to take my insecurities and my negative feelings out on something, and I just have to spew bullshit to do that. And I'm sorry.
So you don't think it's actually this bad? I mean,
I don't know how else to rate it other than this. I don't want to fucking hear it, dude.
I get that.
So I don't know.
I get that. If you have to...
Okay, fine. I'd liked Metallica for years. It's fine. You can like Metallica. That's fine. They're probably at least okay their first 4 albums. That's fine. You're good. We're good.
Is the Black Album really a step down? Because one is my favorite... Or no, sorry, Injustice for All. Because one is my favorite Metallica song. But is the rest of the material just all bad, or...
I like their first album. I do.
Okay.
But I think it was because of Dave Mustaine, and I think it was because of Cliff Burton. And I really think everybody else in the band is a nonsense bozo hipster idiot. Like, I don't like any of these other guys in the band. I don't like the work and the projects that they've worked on.
Yeah.
I like Dave Mustaine, and I like Cliff Burton.
For people who have this in their top 5 or whatever, just...
we can still be friends.
I would say just start experimenting with different genres. Just dabble, right? You're probably not going to like it at first, but just keep dabbling.
That's where you go. It's the Black Keys.
Because like for me, for example, with rap, I'm relatively new to the rap game, like to listening to it, to enjoying it, especially. I didn't like To Pimp a Butterfly at first. I did. I mean, I gave it a better score than this on first listen, I think. But I kept dabbling, and I kept listening to sounds that were foreign to me, and then I grew to like those sounds as I grew familiar with them. And now To Pimp a Butterfly is obviously one of the best albums of all time, and I'll never deny that. This is not. So start the process.
Who said it that it was? Let me at him. I'm just kidding. Hold me back.
This is not it, y'all. This is not. There's so much more to
If you really
music.
dislike me that much for hating on this album, feel free to kick my ass. But I'm not changing my opinion. I'm sorry. I know this album. Don't act like I've never heard it.
No, it's bad.
Don't say, he's never really listened.
No,
I've listened to it.
Bad.
I grew up on this album.
No, like seriously.
I know this album.
When
like
the album was
playing,
he was just like, humming along to the guitar parts. Every second was on point. He knows this album.
I know this album, and it sucks. It sucks.
Yeah. I wouldn't go as far as to say it sucks, but a 67, like I said, there are good albums in the 60s that I expect on re-listening to like more, but I genuinely think this is a 67 album. This is a 60s
I genuinely
album.
think this is a negative 102 album. I don't want to hear it.
Like, there are albums I expect to really like that are currently in the 60s, but this is just in the 60s. And I tried. I tried. So final thoughts. Do I recommend it? No, you've probably already heard it, or you've heard the songs off of it. There's nothing more to gain. If Master of Puppets is the only song that's worth listening to.
If you like Master of Puppets, then you probably like Stranger Things. Go watch the show. Leave me alone. Go watch your bullshit shows. Go listen to your bullshit music.
No, here's what I'll say.
Go eat toenails for all I care.
Just start experimenting. You've smoked toenails, so don't even give me that.
That's a good point. That is a good point.
Yeah, just start experimenting. Just dabble in new sounds. You're gonna reject it at first. That's normal. Just keep doing it. Eventually, you're gonna
Dr. Music.
Eventually, you're gonna stick to things that you find that you like.
I prescribe you Death Grips.
A virus of goodness.
Prescribe you Death Grips.
But yeah, for Fantano, who knows a lot of music and still loves this album, I don't know what to say to you, man. I really don't.
I do. I'm not gonna say it, but I know what I probably should be saying.